This is my Iwagumi style aquarium that I set up about 4 months ago for my Least Dwarf Crayfish, also known as blue mini and blue dwarf crayfish. They are the smallest type of crayfish, and not to be confused with my other ones, the Cajun dwarf crayfish, which I have recently made videos of. A lot has happened in the past 4 months. Some good, some bad, and some weird. We will start with the bad. First, you may notice no new growth from the plants. That is due to the algae infestation, specifically green hair algae. This all happened when I stopped supplying carbon dioxide via my DIY generator. I did this because 2 of my 3 females died within a few weeks from each other. I suspected that there was not enough oxygen due to the carbon dioxide and me turning the sponge filter flow down. I tried to clean the algae off the plants in hardscape, but there was just too much. I decided at that point to do a complete rebuild. I pulled out all the plants and added a little bit of aqua soil on top. I then put the plants in a small container with aquarium water and some ram's horn snails and did not feed them anything for 1 week. After the week passed, I replanted the mini dwarf hairgrass. No algae was on them because the snails cleaned everything. I rewarded the snails by feeding them some pellets, and then I fed some of them to my puffer. More bad news came from the nursery tank that I had set up for all the babies my crayfish had. What happened was the babies were tiny, and I had some shrimp in there as part of a cleanup crew with some snails. I built it last second, was in a rush and too busy at the time to pay close attention. The tank was covered in guppy grass, and I left it thinking it was good. It wasn't because I could barely see anything. I could see the shrimp and I would think everything is fine. One day I noticed a bunch of detritus worms, and when I removed some plants, I did not see any crayfish, only uneaten food. I was overfeeding due to not being able to see anything. I had a spare tank set up and moved all the shrimp there. I then looked for any baby crayfish. I found 5. When I put them with the shrimp, I did not drip acclimate, and sadly within a few days all 5 died. Now the good news. First, of course, I was able to successfully reset the tank without buying any new plants. Second, luckily I still have some babies that are alive from my first hatchings. I had moved them to a different tank than the other babies because they were older. All crayfish species practice opportunistic cannibalism, so it's best to separate them by size. I will move them into the big tank with the older females soon. I am just waiting for them to get a little bigger. And now finally the weird. As soon as I started cleaning and working on the tank, I noticed the female was acting aggressively towards the shrimp I had in there. So I decided to move most of them into a different tank. The next day I found what looked like a dead crayfish. Thankfully it was just molting, but it took 2 days. After the first day, I did not think she would make it. And finally today she is eating normally again. My plan is to move the young crayfish in here with her sometime in the next 2 months.